Welcome back to Revealing the Hidden, where we take a deeper look into Jewish living. I wanted to take a day to bring up a tzaddik, a unique neshama that lives in this world, who not everyone knows about. And I've had personal experiences with recently, as well as some of my friends. And I've gained a lot of Torah from him. And I tried to find more on the internet to discover him, because there's only so much you can access, and I haven't been able to. So instead I started collecting information, stories, Torah of his, so that maybe if someone else wants, they can also grab onto him a little bit. And he's known as Rav Henoch Teitelbaum. He's the son of the Sossover Rebbe. He's also known or referred to as the Sossover Rebbe of Yerushalayim by some. And he started making trips to Houston recently. All right, so here we go. So first, just as a very cool story, this story is told about him. He was on a trip in Lakewood. And when he was in Lakewood, he was staying by a certain gvir, by a certain individual. And then the man invited a friend to come and have a yechidus with the Rebbe. Come meet with him, come sit with him and talk to him. He sits for a little bit. He comes out. He looks at his friend and he says, "Whoa, that was crazy. I'm not even going to tell you what happened." Okay? So he leaves the house. A couple of months later, he comes back and he says, "Okay, finally, I'm ready to tell you what happened." What happened? So he said, when he was sitting with the Rebbe said to him something very strange. He said to him, "When you're ready, when you and your wife start talking about an abortion, I want you to call me first." So first of all, they never ever would are the type of family that would ever have thought about an abortion. Second, they're already an older couple who were marrying off their kids and had no havamina, no consideration or thought to ever be getting, having more kids. All of a sudden, his wife starts not feeling good. And they go to the doctor and says, I know this sounds crazy, but let's take a pregnancy test. And lo and behold, she was pregnant. They did an ultrasound, and it turned out that the baby was outside of the womb. I kid you not, literally outside the womb. Completely impossible for baby to live, to continue. And all of a sudden he remembers what the Rebbe told him. And he picks up the phone and he calls the Rebbe like he said to. So Henoch tells him, he says like this. He says, "Ask the doctor how long it takes, how long you could wait until it's dangerous for the mother. How long can you leave the baby inside until it's dangerous for the mother?" Doctor says, a month, 6 weeks, something along those lines. "Call me then." So you go home, leave the baby inside, as per orders of the doctor and the Rebbe. And they go back. And they do another ultrasound. And I kid you not, the story is told that the baby was back in the mother's womb. And thank God, lived. It's healthy. Mamish and nice. I don't know the person personally who this happened to, so I know the story only secondhand. But the following story I know even firsthand. I have a friend who sat down with the Rebbe. The Rebbe took a look at his hand, and he sat down. And just by looking at his hand, he said, "You don't eat bread, do you?" The man was a little bit shocked. And he said, "Taka, no, I don't eat bread. The only time I do it is on Shabbos." He said, "You're here, we're talking about parnas a little bit. You need to be able to bench every day. You want to bring the shefa from Shemaim, you have to bench every day." He said, just eat a little bit of bread. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be just a slice, just a shir kazayis. And the man took the instructions of the Rebbe, and within about 2 weeks, he had an amazing upheaval in his parnasa, something very big that just showered him. On a personal level, I was sitting with the Rebbe, and we were also talking about different parts of life and Yeshuos. Happens to be every time, I saw him, major transformations would happen. I'll tell you about one in particular. So I brought some tzedakah, and I handed him some tzedakah when I went. It wasn't referred to as a pidyon nefesh or anything like that. It was just that he does a lot of travels, and he does a lot of good in the world, and so I wanted to be part of his mitzvahs. So I handed him some, and he looked at me and he said, "Gershi, next time I come, be so much more." Not that he was saying, "Oh, that you'll give me more tzedakah," but he said that you'll be in such a better place in Parnasa. And he came to visit a couple weeks ago. And what happened? 2 weeks before he came, all of a sudden, I'd been working on a number of different business opportunities as side hustles, and the doors just kicked open. It was like just the shefa from Shemaim just started to flow. And things that I've been working on and waiting for all of a sudden clicked, click, 4, 5, 6 different things I didn't even expect. It was almost like mamish, like he said, the next time I'm here, it's happening. The Tzaddik spoke, Tzaddik goes to Hashem Mekayim, and the doors opened. So who is he? Rav Henoch Teitelbaum. As I mentioned, he's the son of the Sossover Rebbe, and he goes every night when he's in Eretz Yisrael. He goes to Kever Rachel at Chatzos. They open up the gates by Kever Rachel at 12:30 at night. And he told me that he has a practice that he does. He gave me a suggestion on what to use it for. He says, and my understanding is every single night he's there all night learning with the chavra. It's tremendous kedusha, someone who would do that every night. And what he does is as follows. He has a Masorah from the Tifer Shlomo of Adamsk, Talmud of Rav Zusha. And Rav Zusha teaches this from his Rebbe of the Noam Elimelech, of Melech of Lezhansk, his brother, and this is the Masorah. He says, when you say the brachas of Birkas HaTorah, when you bring mekabel on yourself, when you accept the whole HaTorah on you, the yoke of the Torah on you, it opens up the channels of shefa, of bracha, from heaven to come down to earth. At those moments when you access the world of the infinite, when you tie yourself to the Borei Olam, the creator of the world, there's a moment where the channels of bracha, of blessing, can flow in. And so what do? After we say the brachas for learning Torah? So we say, Yivarecha Hashem Yishmerecha. So at least there's an immediate response, so to speak, where they're opening up bracha for yourself. But he says that the Masorah from Rav Noam Elimelech to Rav Zusha, passed over to the Tiver Shlomo of Adamsk, is that after you say V'yasim L'cha Shalom, before you go to Elu Dvarim, at that moment, you should grab onto those channels of bracha, give people brachos. He actually has he and some of the other chavra, they bench each other, they put their hands on each other's heads, and they start giving each other brachos at that moment. So there was I believe it was a Karliner Chassid who saw this once. He saw them doing this at Kever Rachel. And he asked, "What are you doing? Hands, kavanos, what is it?" And he said, "No." So the Rebbe explained to him, "No, this is what we do. This is the Masorah that we have from the Noam Elimelech, etc." And fine. So he heard this and he went back home, and he took upon himself something important. You see that his family was in an apartment that was next to a couple of addicts who were a little bit crazy. Dangerous crazy, and then threatened him recently. Threatened like that they were going to kill him. It was horrible and scary for him and his family. And they decided that they were going to take this on. And every morning when they say Birkas Torah, at the end of Birkas Torah, after V'yasim Lach Shalom, even before saying Elu Devarim, they would say the Yehi Ratzon that people classically say after the 15 brachas in the morning. For Hashem to protect us from the Satan and from bad people, Mishachin, Ravi Pegara, from bad things happening, bad neighbors, and all that. And they would say this. And within 2 weeks, 2 weeks has been the magic number in this year. I think it was within 2 weeks, the family, of these addicts came and said, "We're leaving. We're actually, we're going to be gone. And we're sorry for what we did." So the Rebbe told me about this segula and gave it over to me to use for people who are haven't yet been married, and we've been working on it and saying it with we just started, and it's been a tremendous thing. Just to pass on a little bit more, I'm hoping to give over more. I'll give you one more teaching that he gave me so far that I've heard. Is as follows. He says that when it comes to going to the mikvah, for if you're going for tahara, for kedusha, so he gave me a specific piece of eitzah, a piece of advice. When you go to the mikvah, so according to the hidden Torah, so mikvah in gematria is kuf nun aleph, is 151. 151 is also the gematria of the word kain or kan, which is from the shiluach hakan, the mother bird. There's it's 150, but with the kolal, with the extra number that completes the gematria, it's 151 like mikvah. So the Mekubalim teach that when you go to the mikvah, there's an experience of sending away the mother bird, so to speak. That if there's klipos, if there's shells, husks around you that are holding you back spiritually, holding people back or in their way, so you remove it. When you go to the mikvah, so if there's other people in your life who are experiencing this, specifically in your family, they're connected to you also, and you can have that kavanah as well. And in particular, if someone's struggling with a neurodivergence diagnoses, something with special needs or things like that, when we're to go to the mikvah, they can have kavanah for that as well, to help remove those klipos, and it's supposed to be a segula, brings a so to speak, a power of shiluach hakan for that. And I've seen it work in ways I'm not going to describe in particular here, but I've seen tremendous growth that comes with that as well. Okay, I know this is a little bit of an unusual share for me, but I feel very close to this tzaddik. I think he's a very, very special neshama, and he's in the world, and his light is begun to spread as he starts to teach and to travel and to help bring Yeshuas for Klal Yisrael. And I hope it's been enlightening for you. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully.